We'll kick things off with a look at the overall market here. Sharif will have a look at the futures.
We're going to look at the SPX today, guys. This is the actual index for the S&P. Here we are, 51.24 currently trading right now. We got as high as 51.86 last week. So let's go ahead and say, for today's purposes, we're looking at a resistance level of that 50-point area, so 51.50 to the north side. That takes us up to the overnight high, as well as the high on the 4th. To the downside, we're looking at support at 5,100, Brendo.
Yeah, we'll see if the pullback continues here for the overall market. Meanwhile, if you haven't done so, grab that. TraderTV.live. You can enter your email address, and that's all you need. And then it just shows up every single day. We do your homework for you every morning. We didn't mention it, but did you see Oppenheimer?
Well, I saw the tail end. They won everything.
Yeah.
So the best actor, best picture.
I think it was 7 Oscars.
It was ridiculous.
It was crazy. But yeah, I haven't actually seen the movie. Have you?
Neither have I. Neil's the only one that's seen it from like the crew here.
Have to watch it. But yeah, shout out to Oppenheimer, absolutely crushing the Oscars last night. Here is Coinbase. We'll talk about crypto to kick things off because. Absolutely. 72,000 comes and goes there briefly for BTC. Here's Coin, as we said, all the way back to 272 here this morning, up tough to see, but 6.25% for Coinbase.
This really irked me this morning, Brendo. Not like I really needed a lot of irking because didn't sleep as much. But here's the thing, guys. The Financial Conduct Authority, that's the regulatory body in England, they weren't not allowing retail investors to buy these exchange-traded notes that were specifically linked to Bitcoin. They said they're too risky, and they're they need more sophisticated investors to be investing in these things. They changed their mind overnight and sent Bitcoin up through 71,000, Brendo. That's the reason here from the English regulator.
Yeah, never mind 6%. Here's MicroStrategy, as we were saying, 9% to the upside. If you missed it, Michael Saylor on CNBC earlier, he has wrapped up and moved along on his day. But yeah, huge move here, guys, for MSTR.
Huge move all over the place. If you look at a weekly chart on BTC, really tells some of the story here on Bitcoin. Because you had like a brief pause at 52,000, and then it's been just all strong weeks since going into the break and the new fresh all-time high up here. So if you look at, like, generally speaking, when was the last time you had a run like this? That was going into the 40,000 level. Like, you broke out at 20,000, it doubled up, got to 40,000, and then there was a pullback to 30. So if we're on that type of a move, dip into 40,000, that double up would take you to 80, and if there was a pullback, I think it would be probably back into the 60 level or something like that. If it were to just simply follow the pattern, but that's sometimes that's what happens. Let's be real. That can easily happen, and if we get to 80,000, I think that's like a natural spot technically for this move to abate. And I'm talking about a weekly chart there, so just the general trend. But if you're looking at individual names, it was a huge ramp up in a lot of things. Worth noting, Coin was weird in that Bitcoin got back up to the highs, or at least close enough to the tops, and Coin just sort of sat there with a seller underneath 260 all Friday afternoon. Now you're gapping back above 270, which is a huge level on the weekly for Coinbase. Just come to the chart this way. I'll pull it up on my trade ideas so that you can see all the way back. You go to the 270 level, that's a monster level from December of 2021, actually was the lower high that led you into the bottoms on Coin. So holding a 270 would be pretty big. If we hold on to 72,000 and you break and hold 270, I think this stock is going for the moon. If we break down from 72, I think that gap takes you back into the 260. I like the afternoon resistance on Friday that it hung around at all afternoon. I want to see if that can hold on any kind of a dip. Like the 260 level would seem like an obvious place if this does fill the gap to start looking for a long.
All right, yeah, we talked about this, and thanks for all the kind words there. If everybody gets a chance to go over and check out the podcast this weekend, Brendo and I, a couple fun things. We talked about crypto, we talked about MSTR and whatnot. Go check it out. Pretty cool. I was telling the guys this weekend, it was pretty cool. You just click on this one link there, and you get all of the. I mean, I think it's probably on more than this, but the big three right there. You just click on it and go over, have a.
Oh, the good news. Look. I need to point this out.
Podcasts.
It's actually that link is a fantastic way to do it, and even more important because Spotify had an issue So
Did
if you
they? Yeah.
so if you went to Spotify, like say you're subscribed, I'm subscribed. I just go open Spotify to check it out, and it wasn't listed there. So you couldn't actually on there from the app. I couldn't get to it from the app. But if you had that link, it takes you to a direct page where you can get the podcast. So that link actually is a heck of a lot better. And then look, and nothing against Spotify. This is the only time that it happened. It was the only time that I didn't get it because I noticed I didn't get the notification. And therefore, I had to go search for it myself. So that's a fantastic link, which makes sure that you get it even if someone has issues.
Yeah, that QR code at the bottom puts it all the way over there as well. Look, so I'm just going to sit in IBIT for a minute. Bitcoin is failing off 72,000. So, you know, we took the shot there thinking that, hey, if we can hold this, see when volume comes into IBIT, see if this does anything into the open here. So I'm going to hold this down to like $40.50. Like we're not in very many shares. I do want to buy a little bit more down here at $41 as well. But I mean, to look at this and try to predict where the ETF is going to open, I don't really know. Up 4%, Bitcoin, you know, if it goes, people are going to pile in. So let's just wait to see. I'm going to give it down to the 200 period here. And then, you know, if we can see what crypto's really been doing on itself here, if we just go over to a quick little 1 minute chart here, you see, so we're trying to bounce around. This is a decent little level. As you can see, what is that, 71? So I can see mentally what we need to really have break before we're in trouble. It's probably 71,000. You know, we've been holding upside here for about 5 hours or so above 71,000. Tried to get above 72 just now, 72.5. So let's just wait to see if we break 72.250, sorry. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. So I would say that we should really get worried if you have a lot right now in anything. I mean, maybe 71.2, but ultimately 71,000 I think is a bail spot. So let's wait to see what happens. We'll watch down here 71,000, but that's what Bitcoin's doing. We're in IBIT right now, and I'm going to average it in down here near 41. So we'll probably get long pretty soon here.
All right, great talk from Michael Noss earlier on the next one here. Nvidia, if you missed it, scroll back a little bit, and he had some great ideas and great thinking on what to do with Nvidia this week and what happens if this sell-off continues. Huge, ugly red candle here on the daily chart after that huge move up over the past couple of weeks, months even. That being said, there's a number of positive analyst moves today.
There are.
Nvidia. Shocking.
Cantor Fitzgerald, chief among them, Brendo, with a price target increase from 900 to 1200, basically upgrading this in anticipation of the event we're going to have for 4 days next week. From Monday to Thursday, there's going to be the Nvidia AI GTC conference. That should present us with multiple opportunities for catalyst, midday, intraday, whatever you want to call it. So we'll see what Nvidia does in anticipation of that event, Brendo.
Trying to hold on to the bottom end of Friday's range here, guys, for Nvidia.
Trying. That's the key. The 865, man. It just seems like it's a bit of something. But you know what? Like anytime a stock falls like that, the bottom is gonna automatically be some kind of a level. Like if that's where when you drop $100 and have the biggest, it was like the first time in 7 years that it had been up 5% and closed down 5% within the same day for Nvidia. So when you have that kind of a drop, wherever you find support is going to be a biggie at that 865. When I sat down, I kind of felt we were trading at 880 or so, and I was thinking back into 900 made sense, and I wanted to be short back into 900. Now you're at the 860s. It makes it very tricky to look for a fade. You're looking at $30 to the upside before I'd be getting into that fade. The other one that I put on the mix today was AMD, because AMD broke support. So AMD had a double close Monday and Tuesday at 205. So there's your close once, there's your close twice, then support for the next 3 days, which tested on Friday and then broke this morning. So this, to me, off the 05, even if it breaks that, it gets back to like a 10, 11 level. I think that's going to give you some opportunities for some shortable levels on AMD. It doesn't mean that I won't trade Nvidia. It's a little far away from the price that I wanted to engage. And we already mentioned ARM. I mean, with the IPO lockup tomorrow, oh, wait a minute. I just realized ARM is at the bottom there. Let's not skip too far ahead, but you know, I've been shorting ARM pretty much every single day. But yeah, I like the AMD because we get that 205 level as opposed to Nvidia.
Yeah, so we have AMD written down here as a second idea to short. I'm already sitting at 205, but 208.50 for me. Friday's close is something that we're going to look at. We also have ARM on there too as a 130 short. We'll look at that. But yeah, already sitting on AMD to try to get short at VWAP. So then if we can break up into where we closed on Friday, 208.50, I just want to see this name go green before I go long. So right now, no, it'll be a short on these chip names for sure. Nvidia, traded it fine on Friday. It was just, we had two trades that one was a $2 slippage and then the other one was $3, just meaning that like if you want to get out at 870, you're really getting 867. So that wasn't great. So, but you can also get $3 moves to the upside too, like, how fast this thing can move. So just put your bids and offers, get them pending if you're scalping like the way I do and the way we do. So, you could buy an 870 and then the next thing you know, 1 minute later, it's at 878. So you got to get your offers ready. You got to get your stops ready. Just be ready for Nvidia. I'd rather not trade this name, just very, very violent. But if it does get up to key levels like 900 again, then I feel like it's an absolute no-brainer. And then, we've always been shorting Intel, but I wonder if that can change. Just on a little bit of weakness here in the market. Intel's following the market, not down. AMD's down 2%, Nvidia's down almost, just about 1% there. And Intel's holding out okay. Intel has a good bottom here at like 42, but we're not going to get to that today. So let's just watch all these names. We were shorting Micron. I mean, we won't be trading Broadcom. It's too big of a spread. Micron's a great short up at 97 if we can get there, 97, 97.50 against that top. I kind of like that one as well. But some of these names just have to travel around. Look, it's Monday. We've got market down 0.5% and all eyes on the chip names. So I feel that best names to sort of wait around. We got some key levels on AMD. Plus AMD's also heading to 200. So that's the other thing. It's just another one of those huge levels that if it's really tanking down, you could probably smash 200 short. But remember that story that I just said. You're probably going to get like 200, 150 or something like that if it breaks, or sorry, the other way around. 198.50 or so. You could lose $1 or so on a break of 200. So watch out for that. But I'm going to be short AMD today. Just a matter of where. And the first spot would hopefully be VWAP up here at 205.
Just seeing a few people mentioning this UMAC as well. Unusual Machines. Looks like they're in the drone space. 3.25 million shares on the float on this one. This was a recent IPO, it would appear anyways, but huge gap up. We're way up here this morning. So a huge gap up above that high from day one. On UMAC, again, about 3 million shares for that one. A couple things to note here for Chinese ADRs. A huge move down for most of these. This is a PDD, but daily chart looks terrible. 115.50 this morning. So all of these gapping back higher, maybe a bit of a bounce underway here, but there is some negativity. Goldman Sachs, one of those on PDD today.
Yeah, what a sell-off. This had a fantastic 2023. Go back and have a look at that chart. But yeah, overnight, a slew of economic data coming out of China. We had CPI grow by 0.7%. PPI was a little higher than expected at 2.7. And you also had the ending of the Chinese annual parliamentary meeting, which a lot of discussion there was on economic topics and how to spur that 5% growth that they target for, Brendo. So we'll see how these ADRs do on the day.
Yeah, Baba, meanwhile, same story, 1.4%. A couple days in a row, actually, back higher for Alibaba.
I have Alibaba written down on the sticky note as, actually, I'm not going to show it again, but it's on there. It's the #1 trade idea for me today. With those good numbers there in China, I feel pretty, we've liked Alibaba. I bought it down there at 72 and change. I think it was low 72, so it's been good. We didn't sell it when it got to 80 there on earnings. They have a buyback that they've instituted. They're putting more work into the cloud. I really like the name. If all these retail names in the United States are starting to go upside, so should Alibaba at some point. So it's just a matter of trying to